Hi, everyone. I am Missy Heydrich, and welcome to the 2024 Big 12 Basketball Media Days. We are here to begin our women's basketball Q&A session, and we will start this morning right out of the gate with the University of Kansas. Here today with me, head coach Brandon Schneider. We have sophomore guard Somaya Nichols, fifth-year senior guard Wes Mayberry, and junior guard Ellyn Evans. Coach, I'm going to start with you. This group, 20-13 a year ago, 11-7 in Big 12 play, put yourself back in the NCAA tournament. I know last year we talked about your WNIT championship, how that was a springboard. You get back to the tournament, a huge overtime win as that 8 seed. How have you kind of built off that taste of the tournament with this group, and how has it motivated your team so far?
Well, I think, once you become a team that's been in the postseason and won games 3 consecutive years, that hopefully becomes the standard. And I know that whether it's returning players or, newcomers, they come to Kansas to hopefully play for championships and consistently be a real competitor in the NCAA tournament.
This conference has changed once again for high-quality programs that are coming in. As you look at the landscape, you've been around this area, you've been around this league. Where does this conference stack up in your opinion, both nationally as well as how individually as a unit for this conference moving forward?
Well, I've always felt that if you were good enough to win the Big 12 championship, then you're good enough to go to a Final Four and compete for a national championship. And I think that obviously remains. I also have believed for a long time that when you talk about leagues across the country, none is more competitive from top to bottom than our league. And I think even with the addition of the 4 new schools, that makes that even more consistent.
For all of our media members out there, if you do have a question, we will have microphones that will be brought around, so please raise your hand and we will get to you. I'm going to ask some of our student athletes. First to Somaya, you were preseason All Big 12 selection, part of a 2024 All Big 12 first team and freshman teams. A fantastic first year for you in Lawrence. What did you learn about yourself in this first year of college basketball, and what's been your focus in the offseason?
My first year, I learned that the pace of the game is obviously very different than being in high school, but also like the eager you are, the better you play, like the intensity and everything that comes with that. I also learned like skills-wise that I was a very good reader when it came to like passing on offense. And this offseason, I've really been just working on shooting because obviously I have made a name for myself as a driver. And shooting is just one of the things that I needed to develop more in my game.
Well, we'll count on Coach to drop a couple extra plays for you then. Fifth-year senior guard Wes Mayberry, you started every game a season ago. We always like to say that I think point guards are like quarterbacks. You kind of run the show. And there's been a lot of really good point guards through Kansas over the past couple years. What do you bring to that role, and what's your leadership style on the floor?
What I bring to that role is just showing up every day, being competitive, playing hard, showing up for my teammates as far as communication goes, just making sure I don't take days off, and I mean also off the court, just being a voice for them. If anybody ever needs anything, always being there for my teammates. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Well, good leaders are hard to come by, so I'm sure Coach is very happy to have you. Ellyn Evans is here with us, a junior guard, a transfer to the University of Kansas, 2 years at North Dakota State, where she was a first-team All-Summit League selection. New opportunity, probably a new role for you, I would think as well, in Lawrence. How do you see yourself fitting into this system, and what was it about Kansas that's where the place you knew you wanted to be?
Yeah, obviously I feel like I bring a lot of experience playing my first 2 years at North Dakota State. Obviously I played a lot there, so I think just getting a feel for the college game, kind of like at a young age really helped me. But I think bringing to this team, I think just like a balanced attack, obviously a pretty good three-point shooter, so balancing that, off of Somaya and Yvette's drives, basing an inside-out game out of our bigs. I think that'll be huge for us this year, and I'm hoping it's a big role for me.
What was it about your decision? And again, what drew you to Kansas?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things. This really just checked my boxes out of the portal for really everything that I was looking for. Being a lot closer to home, I think, was one of the big things, but also just the relationships. I kind of knew the second I got on campus for my visit that, you kind of get that vibe, and I was happy that I got that. But just the coaches, the relationships, and also just the girls, even on my visit, and then now that I've been here for a while, I think that that's really kind of made my choice, and I've been very happy with my choice, and it's been better than I've expected. So I think all those things led me to be at Kansas, and obviously I'm super glad I did choose Kansas.
Fantastic. We have a question right up here in the front. There's a microphone coming for you, sir. Please let us know who you are.
Matthew Poston, Heartland College Sports. Coach, can you talk about how your front court has shaken out in practice? Losing Tiana, it's a big deal. Just how have things shaken out in the front court? Who do you think is going to step up into that role of being the defensive player inside?
Well, that's a really good question. I think our style in general will be different. I think we'll play four guards, and we'll be smaller at quote-unquote, the five positions from time to time. We have a freshman in Reagan Williams who has done an outstanding job coming in and creating a lot of value for herself immediately. We have a returner in Denai Papadopoulou who has a lot of experience as a senior. And then fortunately, Nadir El-Taib is back off the Achilles injury. And she was one that prior to getting hurt last season, we had really high expectations for. So those three will fill that role in different ways.
And we've got another question right here.
David Smale, Field Level Media. Kind of taking off on that, you lost a lot of senior leadership up on stage with you. You have a sophomore and a transfer. Where are you looking for leadership from this season?
Well, primarily from these three, I think, Yvette being with us for a third year now. And I thought Somaya did a really good job a year ago of really picking her spots, understanding that there were 4 fifth-year seniors in the room. But I think that she learned a great deal about, the ways in which she wanted to contribute moving forward. And as we've gotten to know Elle, I know that just her work ethic and the time that she spends in the gym, leading by example. And then I think also she'll pick her spots to be vocal as well.
And we've got a question right here in the front. Oh, sorry, right there. Go ahead, sir.
Jacob Carpio, University of Kansan. So kind of bouncing off the first question. So with you playing like a kind of smaller ball team, are you going to have like Elle play like a 4-5 kind of role in the offense to kind of stretch the floor?
No, well, Elle will play on the perimeter as a wing player. I think when you talk about our style of play, it's become a little bit more 5 out, and without question, positions 1 through 4 for us are really positionless. But we will have 4 guards out there at all times, and we will have some maybe smaller 5s, if you will, that are going to be able to step out and stretch the defense.
Right here, Blair.
This is to the players. Women's basketball has experienced an incredible growth in popularity over the last few years, and I'm just wondering in what ways have you experienced that growth? How have you noticed it, and how have you sensed it?
Well, Yvette, why don't you go ahead and answer first? You're the senior, the leader here.
I would say definitely I've experienced it most with NIL opportunities. And then also, I would say our fan base is growing tremendously. We have a lot more fans that show up to our games. I mean, even last year versus the first year I got here. So just a lot of more people supporting women's sports, and yeah, we love it.
Somaya?
I'd say I mean, being here today, looking at everyone here, asking so many questions, I feel like that's already a huge step in women's basketball and the support within the whole system. I do feel like we should keep it going and capitalize off that, and also give back. Like, we do appreciate everyone who comes to our games. We appreciate everyone who wants to take a picture, wants us to sign anything, and we appreciate all these interviews that we do with you all. And I mean, that's a huge shout out to you all as a thank you.
Well, fantastic ambassadors for women's basketball at the University of Kansas. Coach, thank you. The best of luck to all of you this season.